Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us for our webinar, Taking Out Fear, Stress, and Anxiety from Clients and Patients by Using Technology. My name is Dr. Rachel Abrams, and I am the Fear-Free Practice Certification Manager, and it is my pleasure to introduce to you Tanya Cooper of BabelBark. She's going to tell you a little bit more about herself, but what I want to tell you is that she has worked not only for BabelBark, but for companies like Merck and Seva. She is Fear-Free Level 3 certified, and BabelBark is a company that provides solutions for veterinary practices seeking to enhance communication with their clients, and we all know Fear-Free is all about communication, create new revenue streams, and increase the veterinary client bond. So without further ado, I am going to turn it over to Tanya. Thank you.
Hello, thank you, Dr. Abrams. Yes, my name is Tanya Cooper. I'm the Director of Veterinary Sales here at BabelBark, and I am passionate about Fear-Free. I am a pet owner. I have 7 dogs myself, and I'm going to talk to you today about ways that you can take out fear, stress, and anxiety from clients and patients by using our technology. And we will discuss how to unite all of the caregivers of a pet with one easy tool, and also utilize remote patient monitoring to improve medical outcomes and care for reducing the fear, anxiety, and stress for the pet and client. So as a fear-free professional, we know that we already believe in providing excellent medical care or pet services while keeping a commitment to a higher standard of care. We're focused on communication with pet owners and pet caregivers, and we're also willing to adopt new methods and utilize new tools to be sure that a pet's physical and emotional well-being are being considered. So this is what's important to me when I look at the Fear-Free network. Fear-Free really has taken into account the relationship between the pet owner, the veterinary professional, and other pet professionals that help the pet along. Fear-Free has Fear-Free Happy Homes for the pet owners, certifications for professionals and for practices, and also programs and education and certifications for groomers and trainers. BabelBark platform is very similar to the Fear-Free network. We enable pet parents to interact and be connected with the other pet care providers in a pet's life, including the veterinarian and pet businesses. So BabelBark has a platform that unites all of these caregivers, and each one of these groups uses a set of technology tools to help connect each member of the group. What this network does is it connects a community and enables stronger and healthier relationships and businesses. So where all of the pet care services and the pet owner is involved, we help unite these services, and the cornerstone of that really is communication. So why is this important to have all these pet services and veterinarians and pet owners united? The Banfield research has shown that pet owners really are comfortable only visiting their veterinarian about once every 16.9 months. On the other hand, pet owners are seeking pet care services such as walkers, groomers, or pet sitters a bit more often than that. So when they consider their overall wellness of their pets, they are turning to services that they do see more often. And we want to be sure that communication is shared between all of these providers. How that's initially done really is through a free app called BabelBark. The pet owner now is empowered to have all of their pet's information in an easy to manage way on a device that they keep with them almost all the time. They have the opportunity to keep track of their pet's activity, their weight, their nutrition. They can keep track of appointment and medication reminders and make caring for the pet very easy. One thing that we do to help unite the care providers is allow the pet owner to locate pet services that they may need. So right on the platform, they're able to locate care providers such as veterinarians, walkers, boarding or daycare facilities, trainers, groomers, etc. If your business or veterinary practice is fear-free certified or an AHA hospital, an accreditation badge will be displayed in the app. We do know that pet owners are seeking out services that are fear-free, and this is just to allow your veterinary practice or your business to be on the platform and have pet owners find you. The ultimate goal of uniting pet care providers is communication. We know that communication is one of the cornerstones of fear-free, and it is the foundation of this digital pet care ecosystem. We believe that the sharing of this information will lead to healthier pets, both physically and emotionally. It can help provide better medical outcomes. It can help reduce barriers to care, and it can improve the quality of veterinary care and pet care visits. One of the ways that we initiate this communication between care providers is the pet journal. So the pet journal allows the exchanging of information and messages between the pet owner, the veterinary care team, and the pet care providers. It allows a way to share photo and video. It provides a centralized place to share this information, and pet care providers or the veterinary care team can add entries or notes into the pet journal, and you can also add attachments. Information that is shared between the BabelBark app and the pet journal is shared via either the BabelVet web portal for the veterinary practice or the BizBark portal for pet businesses. So the information is reflected and it's done in real time. Here's an example of how we can unify providers. So imagine a pet owner is new to the area and is one of nearly 300,000 pet owners using the app. The pet owner has heard of Fear-Free and would like to find pet care providers. You have a very involved pet owner that likes technology, that's researching the best care options available. And this pet may have a condition that needs to be shared with other providers. Perhaps they're on a limited ingredient diet, or they show signs of FAS in a clinic or a pet service setting. Now with the ability to share information, BabelBark can provide a solution. The pet owner is able to locate a veterinarian nearby their home that's a Fear-Free certified practice and locate a groomer or trainer. The pet owner is able to connect to the practice via their BabelBark app and share the pet medical record with the new practice directly. The pet owner can share details about her pet with the practice and care providers. So now imagine this pet has FAS and the pet owner has advised the veterinary practice in the pet journal. The provider can now know ahead of time that the pet is fearful or scared and make the visit the best it can be. Veterinary staff and pet care providers can manage their expectations, and they can find solutions early and keep the pet fear-free in all care environments. And it can allow them to continue to communicate with the client in between visits to keep on top of any chronic condition and improve their overall physical and emotional health. The other part of the BabelBark platform that's very helpful is something that we call remote patient monitoring. And you can utilize remote patient monitoring tools to help improve medical outcomes and care while reducing FAS. Remote patient monitoring is another thing that you can try and utilize in your practice. So we know that as fear-free professionals, the goal is to make the hospital or pet care facility a very low stress environment, and we're already trying many different methods successfully. So with the use of towels, treats, pheromones like feel away or adaptol, music, gentle control or touch gradient, using all of these different methods, But how often do you think of technology as one of these different tools that can be utilized? We help to change that. So remote monitoring can help fill in gaps in a treatment plan where fear, stress, and anxiety might be barriers to care or reduce the quality of care. It gives you the ability to stay in communication with the pet owner in between visits and to get valuable health information about the pet in real time. This is accomplished by that network and the use of the BabelBark free client app with the BabelVet Veterinary Portal or the BizBark Pet Services Portal. And we also have a health activity monitor that can be worn by the pet. Some of the things that we're able to offer remote patient monitoring include the activity monitoring, which can help help your pet owner meet customized activity benchmarks or set restrictions. You also have the ability to monitor their diet, nutrition, and weight. You can help them keep track of their medication by offering medication reminders and checking their medication compliance remotely. And then, as previously mentioned, the pet journal, which allows you to provide virtual care, provide progress checks, and gives your pet owner virtual 24/7 access to report any issues or communicate to your practice. The health activity monitor is a Bluetooth device that can be worn on the collar. It pairs with the BabelBark app to seamlessly deliver health data to everyone who cares for the pet, and it continually updates the data in the app so that the pet parent doesn't have to actually remember about how long or the distance that they walked with their pet. It monitors the activity in real time. Once it's synced with the app, it appears in the pet portal, either in BabelVet or BizBark for view by the healthcare professional or business practitioner. And it's very useful to monitor trends. In this example, you'll see this pet Mishmish. Mishmish has been wearing an activity monitor. She's a puppy, but in this example, you'll see that her activity data decreased sharply, and on that date was when Mishmish actually had a spay. Now, if you were offering remote monitoring to your patients that were wearing an activity monitor, you would expect Mishmish's activity to return to normal. Should you happen to be monitoring her activity and notice that it is not returning to normal, there may be an issue, and you could have a conversation with your pet owner about her recovery or what could be going on with the pet. In addition, we offer diet and weight monitoring. So now you have the ability to know what your pet is eating at home and to keep track of weight, to do a weight management program, or to make sure that they are growing at a healthy rate for their age, weight, and breed. The medication and compliance monitoring is very useful, especially for fear-free professionals. For veterinarians that are prescribing PVPs, now you have the ability for the client to create a reminder in their BabelBark app for dosing, so that they know when to give the medication prior to the visit. You can also make dosage adjustments for the next visits based on the patient response if required, so the pet owner can actually input into their pet medical journal their response to medication. Then you may know what to recommend for visits to other care providers if necessary. And for just overall health and wellness and to ensure compliance, this is another tool that you can use to make sure that the pet is either recovering or maintaining on prescribed medications. The pet journal does allow information to be shared and synced instantly, and it is stored for future access. You do have the ability to share written communication and messages like progress reports or check-ins. But one thing that's very helpful to fear-free practices is that the pet journal can be another way to document a pet's emotional medical record. So the pet owner may be able to provide feedback into what kind of treats or anxiety level that the pet is experiencing. And you can also have the ability to make a note back into the journal yourself to document any emotional medical record that you might see fit. This information is also able to be transferred back to practice management software. So let's talk about a few cases. So use case example 1 is a canine patient with osteoarthritis, FAS 3 to 4, and a veterinarian has recommended an orthopedic surgery. We know that this patient more than likely will need PVPs prior to the visit, and the visits may be frequent up to and after surgery for rechecks. The veterinarian is concerned that the pet owner will not be compliant to prescribed medications and follow-up visits due to the stress on her and the dog. Treatment goals and patient progress and emotional well-being checks are going to be critical to client care and recovery. So what can the remote monitoring offer? The veterinary care team can now have insights into what's going on with the pet in between visits. So now with the tools that we offer with remote monitoring, you can gauge the pet's response to NSAIDs, to PVPs, antibiotics, etc. You can also utilize the activity monitor to get a real-time picture of how the pet is recovering after surgery, or even to help detect restlessness, perhaps due to anxiety or pain. You can ensure appropriate diet and nutrition plan is also being followed to manage the condition long-term. Telehealth via the pet journal can help overcome barriers to follow-up care. So instead of causing stress upon the client and the pet, you may ask for post-surgery suture checks that can be done remotely via photo or a video to reduce that in-clinic stress. You can do repeated mobile check-ins to help increase client communication and compliance, and ultimately increase in-person visits. And it allows the sharing of information on the activity, restrictions, or goals with other care providers like a walker or a groomer. In another example, we have an 8-year-old female spayed feline patient who maybe only visits the vet 1 time a year, we say if you're lucky. Wellness checks during the last visit showed the start of potential weight issue or concerns about diabetes. And we know that more frequent visits could catch problems early, but the cat often hides and the owner says it's impossible to get him into the veterinary practice. Veterinary care team does send reminders for care, provides education, you've offered gabapentin, you give treats and etc., but visits may still be challenging. So how can remote monitoring help? Remote monitoring can empower the client to still provide preventative and wellness care for their cat, but it helps keep the veterinary care team informed on what's going on in between the visits. So now the pet owner can communicate with you on a very set schedule, set up a remote monitoring service to allow weekly or monthly check-ins so you can capture details about the pet's weight, their diet, the activity level, and maybe any potential behavior issues that are coming up, like peeing outside of the box or increased drinking and eating or hiding. The veterinary care team can be informed of these issues early and intervene with a plan to get the client into a clinic before a whole year passes. The veterinary staff can have an in-game plan in place on how to handle the cat's physical health as well as their emotional health should they need to come in. But remote check-ins can help keep the cat comfortable in a safe home environment while still being able to provide veterinary care and support. In the third example, we have a 3-year-old male neutered canine patient, and the owner is thinking of surrendering due to destruction of property in the home. We have an otherwise healthy pet with no known issues aside from a recent behavior, and this dog goes to doggy daycare in the week. The pet owner reports that the dog gets a daily walk of about 10 to 30 minutes by a dog walker, and you've diagnosed separation anxiety, noted FAS 4 to 5 in a hospital setting, and you've discussed PVPs. A treatment plan has been discussed, including medications and environmental changes, and you've recommended follow-up with a veterinary behaviorist and a fear-free certified trainer. How can the BabelBark remote monitoring solution help this pet? Well, now you can capture more information on separation anxiety symptoms. So we can find out, does the dog pace for just a few minutes and then settle down? Or is the dog pacing and destructive the entire time the pet owner is gone? Does the dog get appropriate levels of interaction and activity during the doggy daycare, or has fear and anxiety become an issue in that environment? We can allow the vet and pet care providers meet activity and playtime goals by using the wearable health and activity monitor. This can help you set goals for exercise and play to promote overall physical and emotional health. And the benefit is that you can also capture activity information by the minute, hour, day, week, or month. This will lead to making more informed recommendations to the pet owner or dog walker to adjust time or intensity of walks or playtime. Client can share photos or videos to the pet journal to help document behavior patterns or any other concerns that they might have. This can help better evaluate their FAS in different settings, like a home, clinic, boarding, grooming, training environment, etc. So other applications that remote monitoring is very beneficial for kind of fall into 3 different categories. And by using these different categories, you can now medically manage these cases better, but also help build revenue. So perhaps you need help managing conditions such that are chronic, such as obesity or arthritis, diabetes or thyroid conditions, allergies, cancer, cardiac conditions, or behavior issues. Even more acute conditions where you might want to have frequent rechecks or follow-ups, like post-surgery, otitis externa, or pancreatitis, gastroenteritis, or any dental concerns. And then with the growing popularity of membership models and services, we know that millennials are now the largest segment of pet owners in the US, and they particularly like subscription-based models. You can also have the ability to create a concierge care by using remote monitoring to provide scheduled profile reviews, remote check-ins, and create your own virtual exam room in your practice. So in review, the BabelBark platform helps unite all the caregivers of a pet with one easy tool. Pet parents can locate fear-free providers, seamlessly share information, and increase their level of involvement and communication. You can utilize remote monitoring to help improve a pet's care while reducing fear, anxiety, and stress in the pet's daily life. So this is helpful to learn what's happening with the pet in between visits. You can use these tools to improve medical outcomes, help reduce FAS, and overcome barriers to care. You can keep all pet care providers informed of important issues, increase those touch points to client and encourage care visits, and contribute to the overall health and wellness of a pet, including their physical and emotional needs, and provide that high-level personalized care clients are seeking. So if you're interested, the next steps is for more information, you can schedule a live demo with me of the platform. You can visit BabelBark.me or email me directly at tanya@babelbark.com. If you're ready to sign up, you can go ahead and visit babelvet.com if you're a veterinarian, or if you have pet services such as a groomer or a trainer, you can go directly to bizbark.com. BabelBark is an AHA recommended provider. We're an AHA exclusive provider for vet-to-pet healthcare monitoring and communication applications and services. And you can find us on social media. And if there are any questions, I can answer. Thank you.
Right. Thank you. We do have some questions. I've got to pull that screen up. Okay, so first question is, curious about how you came up with which features a pet owner would want. Did it start with your company's own ideas or research with pet owners? Have you had feedback about which features pet owners most appreciate?
Yeah, so those are all very good questions. This platform evolved from our founder's need to basically communicate his own pet care needs with other members of his family and other pet care providers that he was needing while he needed to go on a trip. And so it involved the coordination of care between many different types of providers. So the all of the different categories that are included were fairly basic categories that were initially created with the creation of the platform. But we do take into account feedback from veterinary professionals and veterinarians so that we can improve the platform as it continues to grow and develop. So we like to have that feedback and are welcome to any ideas or suggestions as well.
Excellent. Okay. Next question. How do you respond to clinics who may be concerned that this increased communication is a lot of legwork for little financial return?
Yes, so the remote patient monitoring is a fairly new idea, new concept. We know that there are other models out there and other services that might not necessarily be veterinary where the increased use of touch points leads to basically increased communication so that you can provide a higher level of care. The one thing that we do suggest with remote patient monitoring is you can utilize this for a certain segment to start out, and we do realize that the initial perception may feel that it is a large time sink and investment and having to change your workflow. However, we do also know that the more involved a pet owner is with the care of their pet, then generally the more the time that they will spend and revenue that they will spend within the practice. So the best thing to do really is to see how it works and try it out. And we do have a risk-free trial as well. It can help improve your workflow.
One of the things that really stood out to me was your slide that compared from the pet owner's perspective, like how often I go to the vet versus how often I use all these other services. And I think it was something that I knew, but seeing those numbers just really hit home for me. And I think of playing phone tag with owners or trying to communicate with them via email, where I personally am terrible about checking my personal email. And if it winds up in my junk folder, forget it. I'm never going to see it. So, you know, as convenient as email once used to be, I feel like even that's kind of falling out of favor. Whereas this almost real time, it's like real time, but on your own time communication could very well replace that. So.
And the veterinary practice has control over, you know, these tools as well. So, you know, if they want to set the expectation that we're going to provide you with, you know, these tools to remotely check in with us and set the expectation that we're going to check in with you once a week, once a month, etc. That way that they can manage their own workflow in that regard.
Mm-hmm. There was a question about integrating it with the practice management software. Can you talk just a little bit more about that? Is this with specific management software systems?
Yes, we integrate really with about 98% of practice management software currently. The sync with the software imports vaccination records and a flat file of any pet's routinely prescribed medications. And that is just so that the pet owner could create medication reminders, but also be aware of when their vaccinations are due. It does not automatically generate appointment or vaccination reminders, however. This is just mostly functionality for the pet owner to be able to have that information as a reference at their fingertips. So that's what the sync offers in that regard.
Okay. Next question is, any concerns about the sharing of medical information? I'm guessing that this question is about, infringement on privacy, perhaps, which I think is such a gray area for veterinarians in general.
Yes, so first of all, our platform abides by very high privacy and security standards, which I can go into more detail individually if that's a concern. When the pet owner utilizes the BabelBark app and connects to a specific practice or business, they have to slide basically like a little lever in their app that authorizes the sharing of information between them and the veterinary practice or the veterinary or the pet business. So they are authorizing the sharing of information. In the pet journal, there will be an area where the practitioner can mark a journal entry as private or shareable or hide it or flag it. So there is some functionality coming to the pet journal to improve that. But the sharing of information really is not automatic. It is only what the veterinarian chooses to share or what the pet owner chooses to share. None of it is shared without authorization.
Okay. We've had two questions focused on what does it cost? And one of them, I'm not sure I understand this. The question was, is this a paid SaaS subscription? I'm not familiar with that term.
Software as a solution or service.
I'm glad you know what they're talking about. Obviously, it's something that's coming from a practice manager. So,
okay, so yeah, I'm glad you asked. So, this service is $129.95 per month. There's no contract. There's no long-term commitment, so to speak. So it's not like you sign up and you're locked in for years, right? This is a month-to-month. You can have unlimited pet connected to your practice via the BabelBark app, and the $129.95 allows you access to all of the features of the Babel Vet portal. So all of the remote monitoring capabilities and functionality are included in that. There is a 30-day trial that's absolutely free. We provide all of the setup and training. And in addition to that free trial, you will receive 10 of the health and activity monitors for free as part of that.
Oh, nice. Okay. I have three more questions. One is asking for more information about the shelter program.
Okay, so we do have a program that's specifically for shelters. If that person would email me directly, I can get that information over to them.
Okay, can you move your slides back to where it has your email? Perfect. Okay, and another question was looking for a little bit more information about the Lost Pet button. Does that notify all care providers?
So there, the Lost Pet button in the app, when it will take them initially to the page where they can notify the company where their microchip is registered to. It also will give them information on what to do if their pet is lost. We do have an upgrade to the app currently called Alpha Pack, which is $39.95 a year. So kind of think like Amazon Prime for the pet user, the pet owner using the app. Otherwise, it's free to use. But with the Alpha Pack, they will have basically a lost pet alert service where it's very similar to like an Amber Alert that will go out notifying area veterinary clinics and shelters that the pet is lost. And they'll also get a collar tag with their microchip information on it to wear as well. So that is one of the benefits of the Alpha Pack add-on of the BabelBark app. So you can also download the BabelBark app free of charge without having to connect to a veterinarian right away and see the functionality of the lost pet information tab.
Okay, and looks like we have 2 more questions. Did the app come before the activity tracker, or did the activity tracker follow the app? I don't know if you know that information. Or maybe they happened at the same time.
That question I am not completely sure of on the timelines of that. We partner with a company, I believe by the name of Misfit, that has these activity monitors, but I would have to check on the answer to that on the timing of the monitor device itself with the app. I don't know the answer to that time.
No worries. And the last question, the cost that you quoted, the $129, the question was that per pet?
Nope, that is just the flat fee per month that the veterinary practice pays for access to the BabelVet portal, which is the window into what is happening with the BabelBark app that the pet owners are using.
Okay.
So it's unlimited amount of pets that are connected via the BabelVet app, and it's a flat fee for as many as connect to your practice.
Great. Okay, well, I'll give just about another minute to see if we do have any other questions. If I wait a full minute, it's going to feel like an hour, so just maybe 30 seconds.
And if someone does want more information, or there was a question that I did not answer or that they think about later, they can always just email me at tanya@babelbark.com, and I'll be glad to talk with them.
Wonderful. Okay, and I guess I will wrap this meeting up with, oh wait, I have some other questions that were in the chat versus the Q&A. A question, there's an online offer, it looks like, for $99 a month for the first 3 months for BabelVet.
Yes, that's a good point. Because we're partners with Fear Free, I believe there's an offer online.
Oh, that would make sense. Yeah, because you're a preferred provider.
Yep. So if you'd like to take a look at that, just send me your practice's information and just to my email address, and I'll be glad to talk with you about that offer.
Okay, perfect. And then looks like our final question will be, how much are the monitoring devices beyond the 10 that are included in the monthly fee for your practice? So maybe that's a 2-part question. Does it cost more to have more than 10 linked up? And how much are they if you want, if somebody wants to purchase 11, 12, or however many?
Yeah, great question. So when you sign up for your free trial, we give you 10 for free. We sell them to veterinary practices at about $20 each. The pet owner can also go on to BabelBark.com and purchase one themselves for about $30.
Okay, great. Okay, well, I think that's going to wrap up our meeting. Please note that this meeting has been recorded and will be posted on our webinars page. So if you know anyone else that you think should view this webinar, please have them do that as soon as it's posted. These usually take us about a week to get posted. And without any further questions, I want to thank Tanya again for donating her time to present this information to us. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Abrams. Have a great day.
You too. Take care, everyone.